How about the other
So
prince?
you got to go to again.
How about the other prince, the one that's Epstein's friend?
Oh, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
What?
Yeah.
First of all, how odd is that guy when they're interviewing him and talking to him?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
The Queen kicked him to the curb.
January 2026 hit like a reset button, and Meghan Markle truly believed her past was locked away for good. She thought the old whispers were buried, the dots would never connect, and the yacht rumors would fade into yesterday's noise. She believed she had made it through clean, or at least hoped she had. Then Joe Rogan stepped in and cracked the whole thing wide open. And when I say wide open, I mean no filter, no brakes, full blast. Joe began digging into a chapter Meghan allegedly wanted erased forever. Talk of yachts, powerful circles, and a world she never wanted linked to her name again. This is why it shook everything.
Most influential man in the world, Time Magazine should have been.
No, Meghan Markle beat me.
God. How if it's most influential, there should be there's no debate. Nobody's even in the same category as you.
I don't know. I don't think about it. I try not to. It's a little complicated.
I'm thinking about it, though.
I really shouldn't be influenced.
Joe Rogan does not bend. Not for royalty, not for Hollywood elites, and not for billion-dollar machines. When Joe smells something off, he pulls the thread until the whole sweater unravels. Behind the scenes, things reportedly went crazy. Lawyers rushed and fast. PR teams panicked. Phones lit up nonstop because the one story Meghan worked overtime to keep quiet was suddenly front and center. Claims of a former yacht party lifestyle and alleged ties to one of the most disgraced royals of modern times. That's the nightmare scenario for a carefully built image. And understand this, Joe Rogan talking about anything is never small. This is the biggest podcast on earth, pulling in around 200 million listeners across platforms. When Joe speaks, the internet listens, reacts, and spreads it everywhere. That's what makes Joe a real threat to image-driven figures like Meghan.
If you follow Harry and Meghan, you know all about Marcus Anderson. You know that he always seems to pop up.
He doesn't play polite. He doesn't follow royal rules. He doesn't care about titles or status, duchess or regular person. If something feels off, he calls it out loud. Joe has criticized Meghan before, and he didn't sugarcoat it. Back in 2020, he mocked her sharply, using harsh language and joking that she was reshaping Prince Harry's life into a celebrity brand circus. He even joked that she'd push endorsements and product deals, and later on, that prediction didn't age badly. Then, in 2023, Joe
Meghan Markle is reportedly facing a reshuffle in her inner circle as her new Netflix show With Love Meghan, which was launched earlier this month, faced mixed reactions. So, how many times have we heard Meghan Markle having a best friend? You know, we've had Jessica Mulroney, Serena Williams.
So when Joe allegedly began revisiting rumors about Meghan's yacht past and drawing connections through elite social circles tied to Prince Andrew, alarms supposedly went off. This wasn't gossip media. This was Joe Rogan, uncontrolled and unfiltered. Joe isn't mainstream press. He can't be silenced easily, can't be leaned on, and can't be bought out quietly. And when someone with that level of reach starts asking questions about old connections, exclusive parties, and social pipelines nobody wants examined, it turns into a full-scale image crisis, fast. Now, here's where things get even deeper. None of this is brand new chatter. It's just that no one with Joe's reach dared to talk about it openly before. Author Kirby Summers has been researching elite social networks for years, including writing an unauthorized biography connected to Ghislaine Maxwell. During that research, Summers claims to have uncovered alleged links suggesting Meghan may have crossed paths with Prince Andrew long before meeting Harry.
Started. So the Daily Mail Plus released this article, Why Meghan Markle's best friend, who set her up with Prince Harry, has vanished. Whatever happened to Meghan's best friend Marcus Anderson? The tall, handsome Canadian was third wheel in the early days of her romance with Prince Harry, and he was front and center at their 2018.
Summers alleges there could be photos from the early 2000s showing Meghan on a yacht in Phuket, Thailand, where Andrew was reportedly present. According to Summers, these images exist but were never published by major outlets. And here's the name that keeps popping up: Marcus Anderson, known for his role at Soho House. Summers suggests Anderson may have helped introduce Meghan to high-level social circles years ago, connecting influential figures across entertainment and elite networks. That's the thread Joe reportedly started pulling, and once that thread came loose, the story became impossible to ignore. There's also documented proof that Meghan received an invitation to Yacht Week in 2016 in Croatia. And this wasn't some calm vacation filled with sunsets and
you can
sailboats.
imagine, since we first revealed this video on last night's show, the reaction around the world has been extraordinary. Piers Morgan posted on X, "We're about 2 months away from the sex tape."
Summers alleges there could be photos from the early 2000s showing Meghan on a yacht in Phuket, Thailand, where Andrew was reportedly present. According to Summers, these images exist but were never published by major outlets. And here's the name that keeps popping up: Marcus Anderson, known for his role at Soho House. Summers suggests Anderson may have helped introduce Meghan to high-level social circles years ago, connecting influential figures across entertainment and elite networks. That's the thread Joe reportedly started pulling, and once that thread came loose, the story became impossible to ignore. There's also documented proof that Meghan received an invitation to Yacht Week in 2016 in Croatia. And this wasn't some calm vacation filled with sunsets and sailboats.
He's truthful about a lot of the things he says in Spare about this. Well, we want that story to die, so we're going to give you this story. However, he does it today. Him and Meghan do the same thing today. I've seen that Meghan and Harry tried to discredit certain media outlets because they don't like what they're going to say.
So when Joe openly asks what this is about, Meghan being on yachts with Prince Andrew, or why Marcus Anderson is linked to Epstein-era social circles, people stop scrolling and start listening. And then Joe asks the question nobody else will touch: why hasn't mainstream media investigated this properly? That's when the audience leans in hard. Because once Joe's listeners start asking questions, digging deeper, sharing clips, and demanding clarity, carefully polished narratives don't hold up the same way anymore. That's why multiple reports suggest Meghan's team went into full panic mode once Joe started talking about this. Not because he made claims, but because he asked questions they couldn't control.
Is this preemptive announcement about Harry's security just more of the same, or is there more to it? Now, initially, I caught the first announcement on it. Then the very first announcement of it was LBC UK. And I sort of thought, yeah, typical Harry and Meghan. Here we go, preemptive announcement.
You can pressure tabloids with legal threats. You can manage royal press through access deals. But Joe Rogan doesn't answer to any of that, and that's the scary part. Now, let's break down why the Marcus Anderson angle matters so much, because this is where Joe keeps focusing. Marcus Anderson is the global membership director for Soho House. He's also the man who introduced Meghan to Prince Harry. This part is widely accepted and well documented. But Joe keeps asking the uncomfortable follow-up questions. How did Anderson decide Meghan was the right match for a prince? What was their relationship like before Harry entered the picture? And why did Anderson have that level of confidence in making such a massive introduction? Go back to 2001. That's more than 2 decades of access to elite circles. Soho House isn't just a social club, it's a high-powered networking engine. Private rooms, private parties, private introductions, all designed to keep powerful connections away from public view. Anderson's role is creating those links, deciding who meets who and when.
I don't think that she'll ever let Harry go, because she is so fixated on having a title that she doesn't even have or deserve anymore, right? Yeah. Technically, she's not part of the royal family. On paper, on the website, Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
One of those alleged connections involves Meghan and Prince Andrew, tied through overlapping elite social networks associated with Maxwell and Epstein-era circles. Think about what that suggests. If Anderson had been introducing Meghan to high-level figures long before Harry, then her meeting Harry may not have been random at all. Joe frames this as strategic networking at the highest level, and he's been drilling that idea into his massive audience. And then there's the lingering question Joe keeps hinting at, the Thailand yacht photos that may exist. That unanswered piece keeps the conversation burning hot. Here's where things turn seriously intense. Author Kirby Summers claims that mainstream media outlets may already possess photos showing Meghan on a yacht in Phuket, Thailand, with Prince Andrew, dating back to 2001. That claim alone raises major questions, because if those images exist, why has nobody published them? Joe Rogan has been asking that same question out loud. And if such photos were real and showed Meghan and Andrew together during the Epstein-era timeline, the implications would go far beyond awkward headlines. That kind of link would pull her directly into one of the darkest scandals connected to the modern royal story. Now, fact-checkers have pushed back, noting that some images circulating online actually show model Alexandra ESA, not Meghan, and that is true for those specific photos. But Summers is not referring to viral internet images.
Prince Harry wanted to make amends and come meet my dad. Wow, that's just crazy. I'll tell you right now, Prince Harry, if it has to do with anything with the Netflix crew and cameras, don't even bother. My dad's had enough crap.
She's talking about alleged photos that major media organizations supposedly have in their possession but refuse to release. That's a massive difference, and Joe keeps stressing that point. So why the silence? Legal threats, fear of lawsuits, palace pressure, defamation risks, the same old playbook. When powerful people are involved, stories tend to disappear fast. Secrets stay buried because too many interests are at stake. But Joe Rogan doesn't play by those rules. He's openly asking why no investigation happened, why nobody is demanding clarity, and why these alleged photos, if they exist, remain untouchable. Joe is also calling out what he sees as a double standard. Why does Meghan get a free pass when anyone else facing similar rumors would be dragged non-stop? That's the angle Joe keeps pressing, and it's making a lot of people uncomfortable. This is why Meghan reportedly can't stand Joe's approach. He's using his massive platform to ask the questions traditional media refuses to touch, and that kind of exposure hits harder than any tabloid headline. Now, here's Meghan's real problem, and it's a brutal one. She can sue tabloids. She can lean on palace legal teams. She can manage press access and spin narratives. But she cannot touch Joe Rogan. Joe operates in the US. He's backed by massive resources, enormous influence, and the largest podcast audience in the world. Any attempt to silence him would explode in her face and only reinforce his argument about powerful people hiding things.
Andrew, now just Andrew. There's no coming back for him, is there? I mean, you detail a lot of it in the book. There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware of. But he can't come back now, sure.
PR control doesn't work here. You can't out-lawyer someone with endless backing. You can't outspin someone with 200 million loyal listeners hanging on every word. Oh, what's her move? According to reports, silence. Hope it fades. But staying quiet while Joe keeps bringing up yacht rumors means millions only hear one version of the story, and that version makes Meghan look like she's dodging something. Sources suggest her team is furious but stuck. Responding adds fuel. Ignoring it doesn't stop Joe. Either way, it's a losing setup. Joe knows this. That's why he keeps pushing, keeps revisiting, keeps poking holes in a carefully managed image, because nobody can shut him down. Now, think about Prince Harry's position in all this. Joe has already mocked him publicly, questioned the relationship, and even suggested Meghan approach things with ambition, not romance. If these yacht allegations gain real mainstream traction, if the Prince Andrew connection becomes widely accepted, Harry's image takes a serious hit. He starts looking played, not protected. Imagine realizing your wife knew your disgraced uncle through elite circles long before she met you. Imagine learning your fairy tale romance might have been strategic networking at the highest level. That's the scenario Joe keeps laying out. And whether people believe it or not, the damage comes from the questions themselves. Once those questions are out there, they don't disappear. This is the picture Joe Rogan is painting for his roughly 200 million listeners, and it's brutal. Harry has no way to fight back without hard proof. He can't magically show evidence that Meghan never crossed paths with Andrew, and he can't easily explain away the Marcus Anderson connections either. Sources suggest Harry is already rattled by the yacht rumors, already questioning what parts of Meghan's past are fully true, and already wondering if William and Charles had reasons to be cautious from the start. And if Joe keeps pressing this angle, keeps stacking questions, and keeps pointing out connections, the damage only grows. Suddenly, Harry's relationship gets reframed in the public eye, not as a fairy tale romance, but as strategy, not love, but ambition. The narrative shifts toward a woman navigating elite social scenes and landing the ultimate prize through the Soho House network. And here's where Joe's focus becomes very deliberate. Mainstream media barely touches Soho House, but Joe does, because Soho House has long been linked to controversial figures and ultra-wealthy power players. Take Ron Burkle, the billionaire investor. He's reportedly been a member since 2002 and has faced public questions over social overlaps with Epstein-linked circles. Soho House runs on secrecy. No photos, no recordings, no leaks. Everything happens behind closed doors, and that's not accidental. That secrecy is the product. It's the selling point. Private spaces where influential people meet without public eyes watching. Oh, when Joe starts asking what really went on inside those Soho House rooms, what kind of networking Meghan was doing, and whether Marcus Anderson was facilitating introductions between ambitious women and powerful men, the club hits a wall. Soho House can't deny facilitating connections. That's literally their business model. They exist to connect people. But they also can't turn around and investigate Anderson without risking exposure of how the entire operation works. He's been making high-level introductions for decades. Joe's questions put Soho House in a no-win situation. Either they defend Meghan and Anderson, or they stay silent and let speculation grow. Either way, the mystery around their secretive networking system gets dragged into the spotlight, and that's exactly what Joe wants. Joe wants people asking uncomfortable questions. Who met who? How were introductions made? What deals and relationships formed behind those closed doors? Because once those questions start spreading, Meghan's carefully shaped origin story starts cracking fast. Here's the harsh reality for Meghan. Yacht-related allegations have floated around for years, but they stayed stuck in conspiracy territory. Mainstream outlets dismissed them as gossip and moved on. Then Joe Rogan stepped in. Suddenly, those same theories are reaching hundreds of millions of people every episode. Suddenly, they're being discussed by the most influential podcaster on the planet. At that point, they're no longer easy to brush aside. These allegations slide right into Joe's existing narrative, and that's what makes the situation impossible for Meghan. If she stays silent, she looks like she's hiding something. If she responds, she feeds the story and gives Joe more angles to attack. Joe can always fire back with follow-up questions she can't easily answer. That's the trap. She's boxed in, and Joe knows it. That's why he keeps circling the issue, keeps bringing it up, and keeps suggesting there's truth behind the yacht allegations that powerful people don't want examined. Now Joe is drilling into very specific questions. Questions Meghan's team reportedly cannot answer at all. Why was Meghan invited to Yacht Week 2016 if she wasn't part of those social circles? Why did Marcus Anderson have so much access to her personal and professional life? How did a cable TV actress afford the high-end lifestyle she appeared to be living at the time? Why was she attending ultra-exclusive events with billionaires and power players? What exactly was her relationship with Ron Burkle? And the biggest question Joe keeps repeating, did she know Prince Andrew before she ever met Harry? Here's the part that drives people crazy. Why won't she address any of this directly? These are not accusations. They are questions. Very specific questions. And Joe Rogan makes that crystal clear. He's not declaring anything as fact. He's pointing out patterns, access, and connections that don't line up neatly. That's where Joe's strategy becomes dangerous. Meghan can't respond without opening doors she clearly wants closed. She doesn't want to explain parts of her past she's worked hard to move beyond. Joe isn't saying Meghan was definitely a yacht girl. What he's saying is, here are the connections, now explain them. Then he steps back and lets his audience do the rest. That approach is powerful. People who come to conclusions on their own believe them more strongly than people being told what to think, and Joe's audience, nearly 200 million listeners, is doing exactly that. Oh, where does this go from here? Joe Rogan isn't backing off. He's got the reach, the influence, and the protection that comes with being the biggest podcaster alive. Meghan's team can't silence him. They can't threaten him. They can't steer the narrative when one voice reaches more people than entire news networks. Because of Joe, yacht-related rumors are now openly discussed. The Prince Andrew connection is being questioned out loud. The Marcus Anderson networking role is under real scrutiny. And Meghan, she's reportedly watching a carefully polished public image crack in real time. Once Joe Rogan starts asking questions about your past, questions mainstream media avoids, there's no easy way out. Once the dots are connected publicly, once millions hear the same questions over and over, there's no undo button. You can't force people to forget what they've already started wondering about. To this point, the debate isn't just about whether these rumors are true. The real issue is whether Meghan can survive Joe Rogan asking those questions in front of 200 million people. Based on the silence, the tension, and the lack of response, it's clear her team understands the damage. Joe didn't make a claim, he sparked a conversation. And once that conversation is out there, it doesn't go away. If you watch this and have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe and stay locked in for more deep dives like this.